When I started out in visual effects, I quickly moved up the ranks and I became the supervisor of my department, which was an entry-level department, but I moved up the ranks and I was there and I was working hard and I was enthusiastic. And yet, fresh out of college, being in that position, I had no idea what I was doing, and I would always say yes. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, we can take this on, we can do this, we can do that. And I wasn't able to see that there's points when I need to be able to say no. And over the years, of course, I did learn to be able to say, this is my limit, this is where I need to be able to set boundaries and say no. So in today's video, I'm going to go into being able to say no without guilt, not just around work stuff, but also with friends, with those around you, that when you are feeling like you need time for you, you need to take care of yourself, being able to say no and then not feel guilty about it. So thank you for joining me. I'm Amy C. with You Finding You. I'm an intuitive and transformational coach. And if you look down below, there is a PDF that you can snag up right now on redefining success, a roadmap to looking at success in a new way, where it's not about achievements and status and going after these titles, but it's about actually finding success within, finding success with the life that you're living. So again, do check that out. That's in the dialog box below. So continuing the series of seeking outside of ourselves for approval, for our worth, for defining ourselves. This is another in that series where we will just say yes and people please in this way to get our worth, to define and fill us up in certain ways. So today specifically, I want to go into being able to set the boundaries around being able to say no and not always saying yes. So taking on the task, why was I taking on and saying yes to all these things? And at the time, I thought, well, that's what you do. You know, you need to be able to say yes to these things or they're not going to respect you. They're not going to work with you and they're going to go get someone else. So inside of me, there was this story of, oh, I'm going to lose my job or I'm not going to be respected. So I need to say yes to this. So I was taking on things where I didn't always know what I needed to do. And of course, I would learn and I would figure out what needed to get done. But it was taking on a lot of times things that I didn't really know for sure. And at times, maybe I did need to be able to say no or say, hey, I don't know how to do this. So in not knowing how, can we explore ideas and work through it and figure out with a team of how to get this done? Which in the end, that's what I ended up doing many times. But like I would go to other people and figure out and learn how it needed to get done. But I took it on myself to get it done. Again, taking it on myself, thinking that, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, and so I need to prove myself. So in this first step, it's looking at, why are you saying yes? What is it in saying yes to, like in this case of taking on extra work, but when you're with friends or when you're with family, why are you taking on or saying yes to helping them out, saying yes to whatever it is around you? And in exploring this why, is it around not being good enough, needing to get validation or worth or proving certain things to yourself or to others to get respect, to be liked, to be accepted, whatever it is, look into it. Look into why you're doing this. And then ask yourself, can you start getting this from within? Can you build up a respect within yourself? Like, these are the things I know I'm good at. And knowing that, you can build up respect for yourself. Or possibly around, like, as I start doing things that I really love, I attract in other people that are doing those things that they love as well. And then that becomes my community. So are you doing things to have a community or to have friends around you? And so you're helping all these people out. Or again, is it around your worth? Finding your worth, stepping into knowing your value, which I talked about in the previous video. So do check that out. I'll put the link below, but also at the end of the video. But finding that worth within yourself and stepping into it, you're not having to get it from all these people outside of you and define it in a certain way within you. But also, I want to add that saying no is a yes for you. And so what do I mean by this? And Marshall Rosenberg with Nonviolent Communication, or NVC, had this phrase where he would say, saying no is a yes for you, which means that you are then saying, I need this for me. Like, I need this time for me. So I'm saying no to you, but I'm actually giving me back this time. I'm giving me back time that I need to recuperate or rest. I'm exhausted. I can't do these things. So saying no to someone, if you look at it in that way of like, oh, I actually really need this for me, it can start to tease out that feeling of guilt of like, oh, I need to say yes to all these things for them. But when you are overworked, you're overstressed, you're whatever it is, you can't give your 100%. You can't even give, like a certain amount of percent. So it's recognizing and seeing that you need to prioritize you and give you some energy back, some time back, and be able to say, okay, I got to say no to certain things to actually give back to me. So looking back at this, why are you saying yes to all of these things? Then can you start to build that up within yourself through you rather than needing to get it from the outside of you? And then as well, knowing that being able to say no is also a yes for you. And while yes, when it comes to work situations, there are things that, like myself as a supervisor, the team needed to do. Like, we have to do certain tasks to move this project forward. So yes, there are certain things that it's like, okay, I gotta say yes to this. But there is also a certain point where it's like, these are my limits. I cannot keep working this hard, overworking, whatever it is. I need help, or I need other things to come in and assist with this. So it's being able to acknowledge when you need to start saying no, or set up boundaries and be able to say, I need help with this, or bring in more people, whatever it is in that case. And that can also go with friends or family too, where it's like, these are my limits. This is where I now have to start saying no to this, and it needs to come in some other form or fashion to get it done. So thank you guys for joining me today. And if you are enjoying and getting value out of these videos, do hit that like, share, and subscribe. Thank you again. I'll see you in the next video.